Hello bookish friends of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. This is round 2 of filming this video because yesterday I was trying to film while I was on sprints with my friends and my light died, then my camera died. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna re-film the first half of this video and continue on. There's a lot of books here, a lot. I'm surrounded and I need to start putting stuff away and cleaning my bookshelves, getting my bookshelves ready, because as you guys probably saw from my last video, the school year is about to start and I need to have like at least some organized chaos. Let's just get into it. The first book is the new cover of the Throne of Glass books by Sarah J. Maas. I'm going to be slowly collecting the paperback versions of these because look at that flop. It is amazing. I feel like everyone knows what this is about, and because there's so many books, I'm really not gonna dive too deep into the synopsis, but this follows our main character, Selena Sardathian. She has been in prison for a few years, and then she is taken out of prison and chosen to compete in this competition to become the King's Champion. So that's kind of where this whole story starts. If you are gonna start this series though, I highly recommend starting with Assassin's Blade, which are all the prequel novels and is the suggested reading order by Sarah because those novellas did come out first, or the majority of them did. So I highly recommend that. I love this series and I'm going to start doing a reread of it very soon. Next is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Part of Your World companion series. So this follows our main character, Bee, who we met in the first book, Part of Your World, and she is the main character, Alexis's best friend in that book. Or Bree, I'm sorry, Bree. Her name's Bree, not Bee. And we follow Jacob. So they kind of get off to the wrong foot. They work in the same hospital and there's like a big misunderstanding. She thinks he's an a-hole. He and her kind of try to repair their relationship by writing letters to each other. This book was absolutely fantastic. It got 5 out of 5 stars for me and has great anxiety rep. And because I enjoyed Part of Your World so much and Yours Truly, I decided to pick up Life Too Short, which is another romance series that Abby Jimenez has. I did read the first book in this series, The Friend Zone, and I really liked it at the time. It was one of the very first romances that I ever read, and so I did enjoy it. Was it my all-time fave? No. But I kind of want to read other things by her, so I'm excited to read this. This is about a young woman named Vanessa, and her sister all of a sudden drops her kid in her lap and like says, you have to take care of my kid, and abandons the child. Then she meets this really hot lawyer and he kind of helps her with her new life, or what her new life looks like. And the reason I got this one was because it had a cute little dog on the front, and it kind of looks like my dog, except my dog is white and with light brown instead of dark brown with light brown. Next, I got Haunting Adeline by H.T. Carlton. I got this because Cassidy said she really liked this series and I feel like I will like this. I don't always tend to have the same taste as Cassidy, but I feel like sometimes when we really like books that are similar, it's like very high for us, high ratings for us. I'm excited to give this a try. I do like myself a dark romance here and there. I know it is like stalker romance. I'm excited to get to it. Next, I have book 2 in, I don't know what this series is, but my really good friend got an extra copy of this, and so she decided to give it to me, and I'm kind of excited to read it. Sounds really good. The cover is absolutely stunning. Honestly, don't really know what this is about. I haven't read the synopsis on the back since it is book 2. But next, I was so kindly sent this book by Algonquin Teen, and this is Rook by William Ritter. This is a companion series to the Jacoby series. It follows Abigail Rook, who we meet in Jacoby. You don't have to have read that series to read this. This is like a standalone series. So I'm really excited to read this, and all of the covers got a new design, and I'm really liking these covers. I think they're absolutely stunning. So thank you so much, Algonquin, for sending this my way. The next 3 books are part of the Shady Hollow series. So I have the first book, Shady Hollow, Cold Clay, and Mirror Lake. Heard really fantastic things about this series from Rachel and from Liv, Happy Go Lovely Reads and Liv's Library. So I'm excited to read this. I think they just look so cute and so cozy. And they're short. I feel like I could read these in in a 24-hour readathon or any kind of readathon, and then the covers just, honestly, the covers sold me so much. And the fourth one comes out very soon, so I'm excited to get to this series. This is a murder mystery that, you guessed it, involves animals, and I kind of love that. It kind of like brings me back to the days where, I mean, I still watch these shows because in my classroom my kids sometimes watch them on like half days or like when we have rewards and stuff, like Franklin or Little Bear and Arthur and stuff, where they're animals and they talk. So I'm excited to get to this. I picked up God, the God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. This, funny, I picked it up because I saw Riley from Riley Marie talk about it on her channel, and honestly, Riley could tell me to like jump off a cliff and I would, because I'm a fan. But anyways, so this is a literary fiction vampire story. I'm really excited to get to this, and when I was in Mini, Kara told us that this was a local author and that she knows her. Super cool. I believe Rachel and I are gonna buddy read this. Look out for that. It has like Addie LaRue if she was a vampire, and I loved Addie LaRue. The next book I got was a recommendation also from a friend. Honestly, my friends tell me like, oh, I think you really like this book, and I'm like, okay, let me add it to my wish list. So that is the first book in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey, Leviathan Wakes. I'm so excited for this. Also, the flop in this is insane. I have been so excited to read this. This is a space opera. I want to watch the show. I think I definitely need to read the series before. But yeah, I have book 2 and 3 in the Stormlight archive. So I have Oathbringer and Words of Radiance. I'm very excited to have these. They are absolutely stunning. I can't wait to get to Oathbringer because I know Kara really, really loved this. And I'm just so excited for this series. I like the mass market paperbacks too, because you know what, I can throw them, chuck them in my bag, and there they are, ready to rumble. Really excited. This is the year I want to get into Brandon Sanderson because I have owned also the Mistborn series for a very long time, and I feel like it's time. And like I said, it's the year of high fantasy, so I also have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and I also have The Slow Silent Regard of Things, also by Patrick Rothfuss. And the reason I got this one, it's absolutely stunning. There's really intricate art in here, but Lachlan and I both got this and it sounded really interesting, so I'm excited to read it. Of course, I feel like this is on every high fantasy lover's shelf, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm very excited for this, and I know Kara's fiance Reed really, really liked this book, so basically my entire stack that I just showed was suggested to me by Kara's fiance Reed. Shout out to you, Reed. Next, I have A Broken Blade, which is the first book in the Halfling saga by Melissa Blair. This is a Robin Hood retelling, which I'm really excited to read about. The cover is absolutely beautiful, and I've heard pretty good things too, so I'm excited to get to this. Take a shot every time I say excited because I'm basically excited for every book. Next was a gift from my wonderful, beautiful, stunning friend Christine over at the Roomies Digest, and it is A Taste of Gold and Iron. We read this for her book club on her Patreon, and she so kindly sent me a copy. I'm really thankful. It's a fae male romance. Next, I have Goodnight Beautiful by Amy Malloy. I saw this at my grocery store. It was a super duper floppy copy, and it was on sale for like $3 or something. So I thought, I've seen this around, I've heard good things about this thriller. I would love to add it to my thriller collection. This follows a couple, Sam and Annie, and Sam is a therapist, and Annie their life starts unraveling because she can listen to his patients and his sessions through a vent in their house because his office is upstairs. That kind of starts weird goings on. Next, I got Cruel Seduction by Katie Roberts. You guys know I absolutely adore Katie Roberts. She is a queen, and I'm filming this on Saturday. On Monday, I'm going to meet her, which is why you can see my little wristband in here. I'm very, very, very excited to meet her. I'm going with a great group of gals. This is an Aphrodite Hephaestus romance. Very excited. I have the first book in the Crowns of Oakrith series by A.K. Mulford. The High Mountain Court is a fae fantasy romance. And next, I have The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. I do also have the 2 novellas on my Kindle. Excited to read those 2 novellas again for a 24-hour readathon and then jump into this behemoth. I know Rachel said that the 2 novellas she really enjoyed, and she really liked the the writing. So I'm excited to get to the series. The next book I have is The Wicked and the Willing, which is a female vampire romance. Again, saw Riley talking about this, added to cart, like no questions asked. I'm very excited to read this. I know it has to do with one female vampire and she can only feed off of women, young women. The other character, Jean, who she needs money, so she decides to go into this deal with the vampire. Next, I have Bewitched by Laura Thalassa. This is the new witch series that Laura Thalassa has come out with. I read the Bargainer series for Sahar's Fan Row Book Club. It started off strong and then it just kind of wasn't as strong as the time went on. And then I also read her Pestilence, War, Death, the Four Horsemen series, and again, started off really strong and kind of just wasn't my cup of tea by the end of the series. So I'm really glad to pick this up, and kind of I feel like this is gonna solidify whether I'm gonna pick up Laura Thalassa again or if I'm just gonna call her writing quits. But I've heard good things about this. Next, I have The Last Heir to Blackwood Library by Hester Fox. This follows our main character Ivy, and she inherits a mansion all of a sudden, and it's really mysterious. She has no idea why she has this property, why she owns it, and she's gonna uncover secrets. So thought it sounded interesting. Also, the cover is really pretty. Next was a book that I was sent by Tor Publishing. This is called Wild Faces. It follows a young boy whose grandfather mysteriously shows up, and he's very strange, and strange things start to happen, and this little boy starts exploring and finding out things about his family. Very, very short novella. I'm very excited to read this. I think I'm definitely gonna use it for our 24-hour readathon. Thank you so much, Tor, for sending this my way. Next up, I got The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and I got to meet him for the second time. It is signed and personalized to me. He is such a wonderful person to go see talk, and I love his books. Follows our two main characters, Leonora and Kit. Leonora is infamous because her family was murdered and she was the suspect, and Kit comes to be her caretaker, and like throughout the novel she's kind of unraveling and solving what happened to Leonora's family all those years ago. The next two books I have are Culty and From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I'm really excited that I got the original covers to this series because I have All Roads Lead Here in the original cover. So now the only one left that I really want in the original cover is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, which I know is Lachlan's favorite from these. So I'm very excited to get to them. I love me a good slow burn romance, so I can't wait. I might do a Mariana Zapata reading vlog. Next, I have another novella called Her Vigilante by Lillian Lark. This follows a cop and serial killer falling in, I wouldn't say in love, but in lust with each other, and kind of a romance ensues. Very excited to read this. Again, I'm getting a lot of short books because I feel like they're good to like have towards the end of the year where you can just like wham bam, thank you ma'am, knock them out. So I'm excited. Next, I have Divine Rivals, which I have read, and I did really, really love this. This follows two academic rivals, I guess you could say, and they become inextricably linked through magic typewriter. Very fun. Definitely more of like a historical fiction vibe with fantasy elements. So I really enjoyed it, and also I really love this cover. I do love the Fairy Loot edition. Wish I had it, but honestly people resell them for way too much money, but very excited to have at least got my hands on this. Next, I have The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. This is a boyfriend's best friend romance. Very excited. I eat Elizabeth O'Rourke books up so much, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I really liked Waking Olivia. I hope to get to this by the end of the summer. Next, I have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriyu. This is a celestial fantasy romance that Hannah said was good, and I know that Rachel really liked this too, so I'm excited to get to it. The next two books I have are by Sarah Adams. So I got the cheat sheet, which my bestie Lachlan sent to me, so thank you so much, Lachlan. And I also got Practice Makes Perfect. I do have When in Rome as well, and so I'm happy to have them. They're so pretty. I have read the cheat sheet and I loved it. It is a really good cozy romance rom-com. It is closed door, so if you like closed door romances, I highly suggest this. It's a romance, best friends to lovers romance. So he is a football player, she's a ballerina. They've always had feelings for each other but have never wanted to say anything to the other one because they don't want to ruin their friendship, and it's just very sweet and cute. I don't know what this one is about because it is the second book in the world of When in Rome takes place, so I haven't read the synopsis yet, but I have a feeling I'll really enjoy this. I have the 5th book in the Eden series, Crimson River. This follows the Eden sister Lila, and it is a romantic suspense. I really like this series. It's like Tic Tacs. I could just keep eating them and reading them. They're so good. I really enjoy it. I love the cowboy Montana southern setting, so I'm really excited to get to this one very soon. And I know that there's another one that just came out. Huge family, and each book follows one of the siblings. I have Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. She wrote the X Talk, which I haven't read, but this one really called my attention because 1, the cover is super duper cute. 2, it's a romance between a meteorologist and a sports newscaster, and one of my favorite rom-coms of all time has to do with like a TV station. Next up, I have Heir of Broken Fate by Mads Rafferty. This cover is absolutely stunning. It was a suggested thing to me, a suggested book to me, and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. It follows this world that used to have both human and fae in it. The fae all of a sudden disappeared, so when that happened, the humans kind of became corrupt and dark, and things started happening. So the queen Delilah, decides to go on a journey to figure out what happened to the fae, and she does discover the fae and meets one fae in particular, and of course there's a romance between it. I have Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorich. This is the 1st book in the Lady of Darkness series. I'm very excited. I know it has to do with an assassin and her training. I think someone comes and kills her family. I know Rachel was not the biggest fan of this. She gave it 3 stars, but I kind of feel like this is something that I would like. I like cheese, okay? I like cheesy books. I do like to eat cheese also. Next up, I have An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Peñaranda. Again, fae romance. Honestly, don't remember what half of these books are about, if I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, because I got them so long ago. Next up, I have the Witch Collector series by Charissa Weeks. So I have The Witch Collector, City of Ruin, and The Wolf and the Witch. I have another fantasy fae romance called Pawn. This is the 1st book in Night of the Dark Fae. This was immediately a cover buy for me. I saw the cover on Ashley, A Frolic Through Fiction's channel. I believe she hauled it, and I was like, okay, I need adds to cart. Was looking at it and I was like, you know what? It's time. I just love the cover. And I did resist, and I only bought the 1st. So we'll see if I like it. It's not too long either, and the print is kind of big. I'm excited to get to this. I have Bow Before the Elf Queen by J.M. Curl, another fantasy romance involving fae. I really like this cover. This was a recommendation from one of my IRL friends, Josephine, and she said that she thought I would really like this because it was very Taylor Swift coded, and obviously I love Taylor. It has to do with a list. It kind of reminded me of that Morgan Madsen book, Since You've Been Gone. Next, I have the Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. This is book 1 in the Gods and Monsters series. I know that this is a morally gray female main character romance, so I'm very excited to get to it. I don't know much else about it other than my best friend IRL really liked this book, and Rachel on our 2nd read really enjoyed this book, so I'm excited to read it. Next, I have a gift from my beautiful friend Hannah, and this is Blood and Steel, The Legends of the Zasmar, book 1 by Helen Schuer. I thought this sounded so good. Next, I have The Thorns Remain by Ja Harwood. It is a Regency fae romance, and I've never read actually a historical romance, but I thought this would be a good like dipping my toes into Regency romance because it's beautiful and it has to do with fae. I have Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. It's a cozy fantasy. I'm very excited to read this because I loved Legends and Lattes, and I just want another cozy fantasy, and this is a cozy fantasy series. Cover is super cute. Next, I have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Got this off of the recommendation of Casey over at Casey Can Read. Can't wait to read it. Don't know what it's about. Then I got Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is the 1st book in a new adult series, I believe. Sounds really interesting, and I love a high fantasy that has a lot of characters. And then I got the Star Wars series. I got the whole series. I don't know where the other 2 books are right now, but this is book 2. This is the Thrawn trilogy, which this is the series that is recommended you read after watching the films. So I'm excited to read this, and the first like book series you should start off with. So I'm very, very excited. Also, I'm loving these covers. They're so beautiful, and the books are super duper fluff. Next, I have One Last Rainy Day, The Legacy of a Prince by Kate Stewart. This is a spin-off series of the Ravenhood trilogy. I'm a little bit nervous because my friend, she read this and did not like it. So we'll see. This is the only other series I would ever read by Kate Stewart just because it is linked to that series, and Exodus is one of my all-time favorite books. So next I have The Realm of Sin, Camelot Untold, book 1 by Casey Kingmaker. This has to do with basically if Camelot was not actually a good place, King Arthur wasn't actually good, and Morgana was the good one, and history kind of gets twisted because she's a woman. Next, I have episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, which I have read. And in the beginning, I was really interested. So probably like the first 150 pages or so. And then it kind of got a little bit boring. And I did listen to the audiobook and read along. I feel like this book could have been like 200 pages shorter and still had a great payoff. It just was like too much for me, and it became so boring. Next is one of my book of the month picks. I have Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. This book, the main character has aphasia, so I am excited to read this, and I've heard really good things about Catherine Center. I haven't read anything by her, but I'm excited to read her. And next are 3 books that I got in a little free library. So one, I got The Trumpet of the Swan by A.B. White. This is one of my favorite children's books. I've read this to my class as well as reading Charlotte's Web, and they absolutely loved it. So I think maybe we'll read The Trumpet of the Swan sometime soon, but it's really cute. It has little drawings in it and music. So I got this in a free little library. And then I also got this beautiful copy of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Jane Eyre is one of my all-time favorite books. I was very excited to get this. And then you know what? I decided to take a risk because this sounded interesting, and it was The Invisible Husband of Frick Island, and it just kind of sounded interesting, and Emily Giffen blurbed it, and I have read a book by her. It just sounds cute. It has a podcast element. Keeping on with the Jane Eyre trend, then I have Jane and Edward, which is a modern reimagining of Jane Eyre, and this is by Melody Edwards. Then I have Travis by Mia Sheridan. This is a companion novel to Archer's Voice. We're following Archer's brother Travis, so I'm very excited for this. He has a good redemption arc. Next, I have a book that I got in a book swap, the Hunted series, Temptation, book 1. And last but not least, I got one of my most highly anticipated books, Strange Unearthly Things by Kelly Cree, and I was sent this by Penguin Teen. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, there's always time to burrow into a new book. Till next time, bye.